Seahawks' first preseason game was really solid, and of course, they wound up tying with the Raiders. But with Pete Carroll and Mike McDonald going head to head, it's kind of what you expected in those two.
It's football time.
Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast, sports, everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, of course, won in a tie against the Raiders in the first preseason game, of course, against Pete Carroll and the Raiders. But of course, the Seattle Seahawks had some bright sides to their team, as their offensive line only allowed one sack during the entirety of the game, and that came late in the second half against Jalen Milroe. But of course, there was a lot of offensive showing from George Hollaney and also newest receiver in the draft, Torrey Horton. And I thought, I apologize to Torrey Horton. I thought his name was Troy Horton, but according to people, it's Torrey Horton. So apologies to him. But the question is, what are my biggest takeaways from this first preseason game, and what can they improve this Friday going against the Kansas City Chiefs in the preseason? I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Before we do, if you guys do enjoy this video, do me a big favor and smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the Seahawks. The Seahawks. The biggest takeaway from me is on how well the offensive line was able to play. I loved what the offensive line was able to show. I watched, of course, the first half of the game, and then I, of course, went to bed at the second half, but I saw the highlights. This is a good step in the right direction. Seattle, their main priority this offseason was fixing the offensive line. Of course, we all know they struggled in that last year. Now, I get it, second string and third string guys, but for the Seahawks, this is a little different. I love what I saw from the Seahawks offensive line. They looked really solid, and Gray Zabel looked absolutely outstanding. And so did the other two players that we had selected, Caleb Dew and then also Richmond as well. But when I look at the Seahawks, I do believe something that they could improve on going into the next preseason game is their second half defense. In the first half, they only gave up 6 points in 2 field goals, I believe. Then, of course, we all know what that happened in the second half. I believe the second half defense needs to get at least a little bit better, because I know it's only a preseason, but I want to see what the defense can do with some of the second string, third string guys in there. I want to be able to see that we can trust this defense in the second half of football games. Of course, the run defense was a little bit better this time around. I believe the only few yards that they allowed was very few. Let me go back and check really quick. I believe they only allowed very few rushing yards. Let me just go back and see. In total rushing, they only allowed 104 rushing yards, no touchdowns in rushing. Each of them were both from passing, both by Cam Miller and Aiden O'Connell. But I will say this: Torrey Horton looks like a solid wide receiver. I love what I saw from this young man during the first preseason game. When I looked at him, he looked like a legitimate receiver. I love the footwork that he brought into it. Of course, there were some catches that he could have done better, but he was solid. He has an amazing mentality, and I really like what I saw from him. Also, love what I saw from Elijah Arroyo, one of the rookies. I love what I saw from that young man. And I believe that Seattle, if they can get better in the next game, I believe they can be a sneaky team going into next year. So my biggest takeaway is the offensive line. My biggest takeaway is the offensive line, and the biggest thing that needs to be fixed in the week 2 of the preseason is the second half defense. But other than that, solid first week. We'll see what the Seahawks can do in the regular season. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. What are your guys' biggest takeaway from this game? Let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do me a big favor and smash that button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.